Well, hello and welcome to the Edgewood 4G podcast. My name is Kyle Parks and I'm a discipleship pastor here, and it is a joy to be with you here on this episode today. And we are going to do another international episode where we get to talk to our team today at El Monte. But before we do that, just want to reiterate our 4Gs. We gather, grow, give, and go with the gospel here at Edgewood. And so this is our go value. We go with the gospel and we go to our neighbors and the nations. And today we're going to be joined by video with our team in El Monte. There are 12 of them there. And today we're going to get to hear from Nick Eckerman, Tom McGee, and Carissa Arnold. There they are. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. I think the time is a little different there. What time is it there?
We're an hour ahead.
Hour ahead, got it. Okay, so not too bad.
Or are we behind? We're behind.
Oh, behind. You're confusing me.
We're in the same time zone, but they don't go on daylight savings.
Daylight savings. Got it. Okay. Well, thanks so much for working around your schedule today and joining us, you guys. And yeah, we're just excited to hear about what God's doing down there at El Monte. And I guess one thing that I want to start out by saying is, I think the word we would give you guys and what you've been dealing with and going through, but also overcoming, is just being flexible. Even from the beginning with this trip, just there were lots of changes. The mission kind of changed. The different things that you guys were going to be doing changed. You ended up having a team member that wasn't able to go. Some people got sick right before they were able to go, but just lots of different things. And I haven't even gotten to talk a whole lot with you guys. Just texted with Emma a little bit. But just tell us a little bit about, first off, what it's like there, and how's it different than just what you're expecting. So just whoever wants to start, just let us know a little bit about that. What's it like there, and what's been going on?
Sure. Yeah, so coming to El Monte, I didn't really have too many expectations, to be honest. The first time I even got to see what it looked like was when we were commissioning on the Sunday service, and the picture was in the background. But it's honestly been incredible. I love this place. So the first thing I noticed is everybody is very welcoming. We've talked a lot within our group that something we had to adapt to is there's no real personal bubbles. So greetings are a very big, intimate, personal thing, which, back at home, we're not too used to. So we kind of practiced and got ourselves used to that. The people are just incredibly nice. They're willing to share all of their food. Nothing is for themselves. They're just willing to give it, which has been incredible. And obviously just God's creation. It's been a really great view. Very beautiful.
That's wonderful.
What's different is it's really, we're in the mountains. Not the Rocky Mountains, that kind of size mountains, but there's mountains all around. The campground itself is up and down and up and down and up and down. The roads are, they're gravel, but they're passable, but you can't drive very fast, and but that's okay. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and it's exciting to be here and to interact with the missionaries and the people and the little kids who are here. And I've been very happy, very pleasantly surprised, I think.
Awesome. And have you guys been doing a lot of walking there?
Yes,
so,
quite a bit.
Funny thing, yesterday I was riding in the van and I was looking at my watch, and by the time I had gone to sleep last night, I had walked 25,000 steps, which was crazy. And I walked over 80 flights of stairs and 10 miles by the time I went to sleep, or 12 miles, something crazy.
So it's been a spiritual exercise, but a very physical one as well, it sounds like. Hey, why don't one of you share a little bit, just from what you've observed there, what you've learned from the people working there and the missionaries as well. What all do they do at El Monte? What are the ministries, kind of the different things that are encompassed there? I know they do several different things, but from what you've just learned from staying there the last 4 or 5 days, tell us a little bit more about what El Monte does itself.
Well, for one thing that I didn't quite understand, and I'm not sure I still completely understand, but they have a missionary training center here.
Yeah.
And people come here from all over Central America, from Mexico, to train to be missionaries. Historically, Mexico has been a place missionaries went.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is becoming a place where missionaries come from. In addition to missionaries that they are having in their own country, here in Mexico, of course, they're reaching out around the world. And they come here and learn about missions and, learn language skills, not necessarily the language where they're going, but they do learn, they try to teach them a lot of, or some English so that they can work with a lot of, we have such an abundance of literature. And, if you can't read and speak in English, you miss a lot of things that would be very helpful for a missionary. And so they do that. And then it's a camp. And so they have campers who come. They were here this week, the 8 to 11-year-olds, I think it was, or 12. And they were running around, a lot of campers. And we had our lunch with the campers.
Okay.
And the first day we kind of all sat over in the corner, and then they said, we want you guys to intermingle. And so we did and tried to do our best to communicate with people who can't speak English, and we can't speak Spanish, or I can't. Carissa's much better at it. But
Más o menos.
And we had, the missionaries, although the head guy, he was occupied with other meetings and things, so he wasn't able to be with us nearly all the time. He has a job, and he had to be flexible, just like the rest of us.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad you're getting to use your Spanish, Tom. That's good for you.
See.
There it is.
There you've had it.
That's it. Well, I'd love to hear that about how they're training missionaries to go all over the world, even to the unreached. And so Mexico, it's a reached country in the sense that there are many Christians, there are many churches, but it's a missionary training ground there at El Monte to send people all over the world. And so in a sense, you all are serving somewhere that is preparing people to go to the unreached. And I just love to hear that. And then they're bringing in campers, locals, kids there and sharing the gospel. That's just wonderful. What about you, Nick? What's your experience been like so far?
It's been good. I'll add a little bit to that. Like, one of the things that they said is that being a different tone of skin than most of the people on this team helps them get into some of those other places that would be harder for us in the career access places.
Yeah, that's a great point. Absolutely.
Yeah. But for me, I think, I'm not going to go, I said it last night, but I think really God has put this team together specifically with everybody with their different skill sets, like came in at this time for some of the project work that we're doing specifically, had the right people on team. And I've just been overly impressed with God's connections for these people and the growth that we've had as a team together.
Yeah, love to hear that. So you guys are on
It's been great.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, you guys are on your, I believe, 5th day there now. And so what are the projects you're working on, and what's kind of a day look like for you guys there? I'm sure it's been a little different every day, but what are the things that you guys are specifically as a team working on?
Well, our day... Okay, well, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Typically,
we didn't rehearse this.
We get up as a team, and then we do some get up earlier than others. We break up some breakfast duties to help Rebecca and team create breakfast for us, and we do a mini devotional in the morning as a team in prayer, and then we break out into our different projects for the day. Most of the men are working on a construction project. They have a couple different facilities here, two palapas as they call them, where they serve the campers here, and one of them has a kitchen and the other does not.
Okay.
So we're working on building out the facilities to help get the kitchen in that second location so that they can have multiple different groups of camps at the same time with the facilities to support them for food and stuff.
And that's really to accommodate more campers, right? So they can have more people to serve more.
Yeah.
And more groups of campers.
Yeah.
They would like to be able to have like 2 church groups here at the same time, which you can't do if you only have one place to eat.
Right.
You know, it makes it awkward. So they want to be able to have different groups here. They have tremendous vision for the future.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, so as far as us ladies, we've had a few cleaning projects helping to clean some of the apartments. We've done some landscaping work, tilling up some dirt by hand, and today they're going to get flowers. They're really trying to prepare the building where the classes are going to be hosted because class is about to start, so they want it to be a welcoming, friendly place.
Okay.
Cleaned up. Cindy was inside of a water fountain yesterday, just barefoot, cleaning it, scrubbing it out.
You never know what you're going to do there.
We've also been organizing like their garage or their tool shed, trying to help them to put labels on everything in both Spanish and English so that they can take inventory and know what they have or things that they would like to get in the future. And like Nick said, just trying to help to really just be a light to all of the current missionaries here. Just spending time with them, having conversations with them, loving on them.
That's wonderful. Love that. That's great.
And at the end of the day, it depends how tired you are. You know, some of us older people may go to bed, or sometimes they've been playing games, and that's after we've talked and discussed the day and the plans for the following day. And I don't know. I mean, we have been put into a place where flexibility really was over the top in some respects, because of Roxanne not being here.
Right, she had to come back to the States, and so she was going to be one of your hosts, and now she's gone. Again, there was just one other level of flexibility that you guys are showing. But I just love your camaraderie.
It's been really good because we all have helped prepare the food, help do dishes and things, because otherwise it's just all on Rebecca every night, and not trading off as much. So
something that was really sweet is Rebecca, our host, who's preparing all of our meals and inviting us into her space. She said that when she found out about Roxanne's mom, prior to figuring out that Roxanne was going to go back to the United States, she just heard God say, "Do not worry, everything is going to be okay." And she's been telling us over and over that it's been such a blessing, and she knows that this was God's timing for us to be here, because she's had so much help with things around the home and preparing all the food and getting the snacks ready. So it's truly just been a blessing for them and for us too.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
When we're working, on the project, they run with a different schedule than we do at home. And, we get to work, and then at 10 o'clock, it's like somebody blows a whistle, and then that's break time. And so then all the, contract workers and all come together, and we have a snack together, which is pretty substantial snack. And, normally, if the things are normal, they would have 15 minutes to have their little snack, and then they have a devotion for them. And a number of the, all the employees are believers, but they've had, decisions made by contract workers as well. And so that's cool. And we try to interact as best we can, doing hand signals and calling on.
How early in the morning does the work project start each day?
About 9 by the time we do the morning breakfast and the devotional stuff in the morning, and then get to the project. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then so that half-hour break, and then we don't eat lunch until 2 o'clock, thereabout, and then work till 5:30 on the project. For the guys. I mostly am a gopher because that's my skill set, but
Much more than a gopher. Come on, Tom.
Hey, I saw you getting involved in one of the pictures, Tom, so that's great. I think you were doing some sweeping.
Doing some what? What was I doing?
Sweeping.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's a gopher job.
Hey, whatever you can do, it's great. Hey, another thing, you guys, so I think a lot of your evenings have been a little more free, but tomorrow night, Thursday night, you guys are doing the program for the missionary kids there. So talk a little bit about that, what that's going to look like and how you've prepped for that.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to that. We're kind of piggybacking off of what we did for VBS back at home. And so our goal is to take them, through the 7 C's of history, just like we did. And Emma has done a great job. I wish she was here to be able to talk more, but she is very busy today. But she's kind of mapped out. We're going to use the whole campus, which if you guys didn't know, it's 72 acres here. And so each of the 7 C's is going to be at a different spot around El Monte. And we've all split up and we have an assigned 7 C's. I'm going to teach creation and so on. And we've all come up with our own little activities to go along with each of the 7 C's. So we're very excited. Emma will be there to help translate, plus some of the older kids, the missionary kids that are here, they're going to help us to translate also. It's going to be really sweet.
Very good. That's great. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are doing a wide variety of things, of projects. I mean, you're seeking to bless the families and the children there, interacting with the campers, doing landscaping, doing a work project, hearing people's stories. I mean, it's a lot of different things, but it sounds like you guys are finding ways to serve and to minister, and that's just wonderful. And sometimes with a trip like this where you got to be flexible, that's what you do. You find stuff to do. You ask, where can I serve? And you jump in and you do it. So I guess through that, my follow-up question is, through everything that you guys have been dealing with, going on and going through, what's God been teaching you throughout this whole process, whether this week or prepping for the trip itself? Kind of what that's been like for you and God just teaching you and showing you different things.
I guess I'll go first. So for me personally, prior to joining the team, I didn't really know too much about missionary work, and I didn't know hardly anything about the 1040 window. And so it's been such a blessing for me to be on this group, just to learn from my team about the need for missionaries, especially cross-culturally. And I just feel like that is why God has me here. He's kind of lit a new light inside of me, a flame, if you will. I'm just determined to learn more, and it just has me wondering, am I really doing all that I can, to serve God and to help reach unreached people? And so I don't really know exactly what God has planned for me, but I'm just so thankful. And I'm thankful for everybody who supported me to be able to be here too. Everything came together so seamlessly. I'm like, I know God put me here on purpose. Yeah,
how you ended up on the team was just, I think, just God, just placing you there, Carissa, and then your support coming in so quickly. Many people were behind you. That's just wonderful how it worked out, and I know God has you on that team for a purpose.
I think for me, specifically joining Edgewood recently, last couple years I've been joining Edgewood. Generally, our church is very involved in missions and helping missionaries and being super involved, and so that's helped me grow. And then this is my first missionary type trip to get that kind of hands-on life experience. And like Carissa, it's really given me a different perspective, I guess, on and doing part of the perspectives class, a different perspective on what we're being called to do, specifically going to all the nations.
Good.
I've been on 2 other missions trips, which were quite different than what we're doing here, in terms of their purpose and why I was going on them. And this has been a real wonderful opportunity just to serve and try to do what I can do to encourage everybody, or make just do what I can do. I have limitations, but not that many, and I have no construction skills. I sweep, but it's been wonderful I picked up a couple of little skills too, so that's good.
There you go.
Don't let him fool you, Kyle. I'm going to send you a photo of him chopping a whole bunch of metal with a chop saw and everything. So he's doing construction. Don't let him fool you.
He's using power tools. Is that allowed?
Yes, they let me have a power tool. They let me use the power tool.
Well, they let everybody use power tools after a short training and safety class. So
okay, got it. Well, one thing I was just thinking about the team dynamics. You guys can speak to that a little if you want, but I just love that every generation is represented. You got a teenager on the team, you got some senior adults on the team, and it's just really cool to see how that fit together. So, what's that been like? How are the team dynamics? I haven't heard anything that's going amiss, but hopefully all is well with the team dynamics. But yeah, how is that with just having different generations all coming together and being on the same team?
Well, if there are problems, the people that are involved in the problems are really good actors, because I would say everybody here seems to just enjoy each other.
Good.
And we interact freely, I feel like, and as the oldest member of the team, I'm excited that I can still do things like this, and that we got a 16-year-old, and we got 20-year-olds, and 30-year-olds, and 40-year-olds. It's just it's fun. It's very fun.
Good.
Yeah, I heard multiple comments. Again, this is my first, but I heard multiple comments that this might be some of the best team chemistry that they've seen personally from their experience.
And you guys, that's huge. That is huge. I mean, I know this is just a week-long short-term trip, but unity on a team and being on the same page is just very important, especially, when people end up going long-term. That actually ends up being one of the biggest issues sometimes with people who go long-term, is having issues within their own team. And that actually gets people to a point where they don't even want to do missions work anymore, and that's sad to hear. But that can happen on a short-term trip. But you guys, it sounds like you guys are getting along well, and you guys are unified and working together, and I just love to hear that. Hey, one other thing I was thinking about, any stories from the week so far? Anything that you've seen happen or written down, or just a mental note, or just something that's happened? Any stories or anything you've heard from people as you've gotten to know people? Anything there what you'd like to share as far as that's concerned?
I don't. It's not really a story, and it's another facet of it. We went to church on Sunday, and that was just a really, fulfilling and just a pleasant day. They had, of course, it was all in Spanish. And we had two strategically placed translators who just translate, which I can't even imagine. I couldn't even repeat in English as quickly as they switched from hearing it in Spanish and speaking it in English so we could understand. The music, I recognized one of the songs, we won't all speak the same language probably in heaven. So it's just a joy to be worshiping with other believers who were very welcoming. And then afterwards we had a meal together, and that was fun too. And it was just a joy.
Yeah, it's always a wonderful experience to be able to worship God in a different culture and context and language. It's just a beautiful thing. And then to just recognize that these are brothers and sisters in Christ, and you already have that in common, even though a lot of the other things you don't, but that thing for sure you do.
Yeah, I'll add to the church experience. The meal that we had, like they do it every other week, and they actually are raising funds to send missionaries through that process. So you get to fellowship with your fellow church members, and it's dedicated money to missionaries. So it's awesome to see that churches here are investing in that as well.
Even as they take their offering in the service, they have two receptacles. One is for the mission, the church, bills and whatever, and one is for missions. And then they have dinner. And that all the profits go for missions from that too.
That's great. They have that focus.
I would say for me, something that we got to do, us ladies went to the local market with our host, Rebecca, and it was just to help us to kind of see what does shopping look like for a missionary here. They do have, like Walmart and Costco and things like that, but it's further away, and they only go there about once a month. And so that was really just an eye-opening experience for me to just see, it's basically like a farmer's market set up with all of these little tents, and people have all of their goods out that they're willing to sell. There's meat hanging from poles for you to be able to come and order your meat, and all the vegetables are out. Cereal, you can just ask them if you want to, how much you want to spend in pesos, or if you want them to weigh it, and toilet paper and batteries and all this stuff. And I just thought that was very fascinating. Like I said, God's kind of tugging on my heart now, so I'm like, okay, this is so cool. So to be able to see what kind of her day in and day out life would look like was really eye-opening. And then Emma ended up seeing a little boy that she'd recognized from her trip prior.
Okay.
And his family owns a store, so when we were walking around, she noticed him and she backed up, and she went and said hello to him. And he was kissing her cheek, and it was just seriously the sweetest little thing to watch them interact. And the family of this little boy was just overjoyed to see her and to be able to converse with her. It was really just so warming.
That's great. I haven't asked you guys yet. How's the weather there? I mean, it looks nice.
Honestly, it's great, or at least in my opinion, it's relative
warm
to what's back home, but it's not hot season. They had that in April and May, and so it's been around like 89 degrees every day or so.
But it cools off at night.
Yeah.
And so sleeping is not, it's laying there sweating and trying to go to sleep.
I actually got cold last night, so I don't know.
Hey, there you go. Because you guys are kind of elevated. I mean, you're in the mountains there, right?
It's rained 2 or 3 times,
okay.
In the evening or in the afternoon. You can see the clouds starting to form, and darken up, and it's going to rain.
Okay. Hey, well, is there anything else you guys want to share before I pray for you all? Anything else?
You can pray for the director, or I don't know what his title is actually, and his wife, and they're being apart during a family crisis. And
Paul and
I
Roxanne.
think it's been hard for Paul. And pray for Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's been great. That would be my little shout out, is Paul has been just so great to us with all of his stuff going on back in the States. He still has so many responsibilities here that he's been kind of balancing between, but he's still been so encouraging, and his devotionals that he's been leading have just been, again, just so great. And I'm so thankful for him for allowing us to still be able to come.
Yeah.
And his knowledge too is just amazing. And his heart, like the visions that they have for El Monte is just so fascinating to me.
That's great.
It has me wondering, what more can we do to help them out,
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything else?
Specifically, they have a lot of work that they want to get done, and so I'm praying that they have more people come in to continue the work, more funding that comes in to be able to purchase the materials and stuff for the work, and that they can get the specific people like our group had all the skills that needed to do the specific project, and that would continue.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and pray. Let me pray for you guys right now. Lord, thanks so much for this day, and thank you for this time, just to be able to have the technology to interact with our team at El Monte in Mexico. And Lord, it sounds like you're doing some awesome things there. And Lord, you've brought that team there. There's challenges that they're facing, and Lord, you're helping them to overcome those. You're giving them a purpose there. You're leading and guiding them each day, giving them tasks to accomplish and things to work with and people to minister to, Lord. So we thank you for that. God, we think of Paul and Roxanne. We think of Roxanne here stateside, taking care of her mom. And Lord, we pray that you would just be with her right now. We ask for healing. We ask for help. You uplift her, Lord, at this time. And we just pray that as Paul and Roxanne are separated right now, that you would just give them grace and you would just give them reminders of your love and care throughout this process. Thank you that Paul, though, is leading and guiding them there and just has a heart for ministry. And Lord, I pray that the team is just encouraging to those they're ministering to and the missionaries there. And we pray that you'd be with the kids' night tomorrow night, that it will go well, and you'd give our team the words to share. And God, you would just continue to lead them and guide them this week. Lord, you have them there for a reason and a purpose, and you're fulfilling that in and through them. Thank you for the team unity you've given them, and how you've just given them the tools, God, to just have a great week so far. We pray that you continue to do that and just get them home safely on Saturday. We ask all these things in your name. Amen. Well, thanks so much, guys, for taking the time out of your day to meet up with us. And this is just so helpful for us, but also for our church to know how to pray and just to feel more like they're a part of things. And so, yeah, I'm just grateful for the technology we have to be able to do this now. For our podcast, this will come out, this video will come out later today or tomorrow. The audio will probably come out today. And it's just a great way for our team to interact and to know what's going on and to continue to pray. And this is our last of 5 different trips this year. And so we thank you guys for being a part of this team and just serving God. Thanks so much.
Good to see your smiling face, Kyle. Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you all for joining for the Edgewood 4G podcast. If you do us a favor, leave us a rating and review. You can share this episode, the video especially, on Facebook, YouTube. Watch that and let others know about it. And just continue to let other people know what's going on through the ministry of Edgewood Baptist Church here in Rock Island, Illinois, and the 4G podcast. So thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time.